I just never really feel like I belong and never feel like this is my space. Sometimes I don't understand the rules and I will forget about the rules and will get into trouble. You would either look down at others or look down at yourself. And I think he set up an environment where people picking each other. You know the word human being? I think we're human becoming. But they put me on antidepressant for a year and I become a happiness zombie. I just sleep and forget things. And I work with a lot of domestic violence survivors who are in the midst of the crisis. I have to comfort them. But maybe after 3-4 sessions, the client comes in take a completely different route. And I think a lot of us do still share this feeling that Toronto can be an alienating place. It's big, it's scary, it's really hard to meet new people.
Thank you, Vicky, so much for joining us today and letting us use your wonderful space
You're
with your
welcome.
beautiful cats.
It will be a little bit chaotic.
I hope not, but yeah. It's our 3rd episode and you're our first female guest on the podcast. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'm happy to be diversity here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
I am a grad school student right now. I'm in practicum. I'm a licensed therapist who are seeing clients now, and I'm about to open my own private business.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm really excited and scared. Every now and then I host community event, and that's about it.
Where are you from originally?
I originally come from China.
Okay.
I came to Canada at 2017. So that's 9 years ago.
So if someone met you today, they would meet a licensed therapist, someone who's navigating through AuDHD, and they'd probably think that this person is all put together. You know, what part of your story would surprise them the most?
I think the days that I'm not presenting, like the days that I'm completely just, there's no more executive function left. I cannot make a single decision. I will eat McDonald's for lunch and dinner. And I'm like 100% social withdrawal because I'm so overstimulated for whatever reason. I cannot even test people back. So those days does feel like a big contract about the normal person I am, like the one that's very energetic, very on the go.
How would you describe yourself?
That's a hard question. How do I describe myself? That can be very philosophical.
Today.
Who you are today. Today I'm very chill. Today is the chill Vicky who's like having brunch with friends, bought some alcohol from LCBO. Not super healthy habit, but I'm looking forward to drink some of the sake, and now I'm doing something new and my ADHD brain is super pumped.
That's cool. Are there some things that people assume about you that aren't true?
I think partially just like I cannot be on the spectrum, or I don't have any social challenges, because I do.
Okay. And what are those?
Eye contact. We covered that before. It's even right now I'm not looking at you because it can make me nervous. Like it just automatically make me nervous. And also I've been for a really long time, I don't know, eye contact is not staring at people in the eye.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't have to look me directly into my eyes.
Yeah, it's the face.
You can look at my ears or beard.
Yeah, but even that actually, as an autistic person, make me nervous. Like it takes me a long time to be comfortable at looking at people's face. After a long time of knowing them. And I realized even with my close friends, I always look at them when they were not looking at me. So if you look at me and I look at you, it make my brain nervous. Not me. It's just what it is, and it may be think as being rude. So I've been told like you have to make eye contact. So I will lock in staring you in the eye, and it will be weird. But yeah, I do have social challenges, and it's odd because I'm very social and I'm like always
you are very
doing things, right? But I do have challenges too.
Okay. Take me back to your childhood. What was your early childhood like?
I live in different household before the age of 10. My parents were not together. I always feel like a guest. From one house, from like uncle, aunts, cousin, their family. I'm living here for I don't know how long, depends on how my family arrange it, to another. So that's, I just never really feel like I belong and never feel like this is my space. So that was really hard. And it's really interesting because I discovered that when I was doing the homework last year. We have a homework when we are learning family therapy to draw your own family geogram. I think that's the word. Kind of like your family tree, and you need to mark your primary caregiver. And I was like, oh my God, before the age of 10, I have 7.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot for a child. So yeah.
Did you actually draw all of them then?
Yeah, it was like other people was like this. I was like,
wow.
It was crazy. And then I was like, makes sense that I struggle a bit.
So why did you not spend more time at home and traveled around instead?
Well, I was a kid. That's not my choice, first
Right.
of all. I think just my parents divorced, and my mother was all over the place. My dad was all over the place, and they were like figuring out who can take me in that situation. Their marriage was on and off, so sometimes I would live with them. There was a year that I lived with a nanny, and then I lived with one relatives when they were doing for a while. They were running their own business, both of them. So I was living with an aunt. And then I lived with another relative when my mom go abroad, and then my dad come back. I spent a year with my dad. Then my dad was like, don't want to deal with this. I don't like raising kids. And then my dad leave, and then I have to like move in with my grandmother. So it's like, it's not on me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you spent most of your childhood with your relatives and people who are not actually your parents.
Yeah. I started getting to know my mom once I came here when I was 19.
What kind of environment did you grow up in emotionally and academically?
I think emotionally, just more uncertainty. Like
very unstable, right?
Yeah, very unstable. I don't know what's gonna happen next. And they rarely inform me at once of like, this is what's gonna happen, or I have a voice in, no, I don't like that. Like, I don't. It's more like they just inform me this and that. I'm like, okay. So kind of like confused a lot. Kind of like all my relatives, they have like good intention, but there's a term called intergenerational trauma. They have their own baggage. So sometimes that can make it very hard. I am sorry about my cat. I think that's the emotionally part. What's the other is academically?
Academically, yeah.
Chinese education public system, it can be very intense. It was demanding. There are a lot of rules you need to follow. And for me, as someone who have ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD especially, sometimes I don't understand the rules, and I will forget about the rules and will get into trouble. But there are also good part, because you have like a cohort of students stay together for 6 years when you're primary school. Right. Not for me, because I changed school a lot when I was in primary school, but there was like more of an opportunity to build a community, and that was nice. So
in China, they don't really understand mental health, right? Mental health is not most of the time, like it's not an issue, right?
It's a taboo topic. Like it was very stigmatized, and it was mostly being very much denied until it's too bad that you're kind of like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, and people cannot deny it anymore. They'll be like, yeah, there is a problem. But as long as they can bury it under the rug, they're like, we don't talk about it.
Is it still stigmatized?
It's still stigmatized. Like, and also it's just that there are a little bit more conversation about it, but the environment is not well set up. The public literacy is not there yet. And even currently, like psychotherapy, the regulatory body is not there yet. At least as far as I know. I haven't been there for a really long time.
Right.
But as far as I know, I still think it's better, but it's still
not as good as it should be.
Yes, and it's similar here. It's better, but there are like it's still a lot of like avoidance in certain topic and fetishization as well. And sometimes we go too far or like romanticizing mental illness. That's another problem. But yeah, it's just kind of like that. And especially with ADHD, Mandarin word is not like English word. Mandarin word, the word itself has meaning. ADHD in Mandarin means 多动症. It means you move a lot. But it's the like impulsive reactive one is mostly for guys, like for boys having ADHD, they're like the impulsive one. For girls is more inattentive one. And
it's different for guys and girls, for men and women.
Not 100% rigid, but the likelihood, because it's a spectrum, right? A lot of the inattention, the inattentive one is kind of like, I'm here, but my mind is not.
Right. So your mind is basically wandering.
Yeah.
Else.
Like because the attention cannot be here. It's attention deficit, right? But then the boys are likely, and even the reason why ADHD for a really long time is about hyperreactivity is because the guys is like, that thing's shiny, I'm going running after that. Like the little boys cannot sit still. Yeah. And that's the only 多动, yeah, you move a lot.
Yeah, move a lot.
But as someone who's like just zooming out, they don't think that's partially that. Well, even here, like growth on the spectrum is being recently studied, and there has been understanding coming out that, there is different manifestation. Well, the first decades of research are focusing on boys and how they are when they're on the spectrum.
What are some of your favorite childhood memories?
My favorite childhood memories would be my aunt's house. Mm-hmm. I have cousins. I'm under one child policy, but most of my cousins are around my age. I have like 2 years, 1996 and 1997, and I had another one in 1998. So 4 of us were kind of like a little gang together, and we always just kind of like there's like a hideout. Like everybody's on summer break, we'll just all go to my aunt's house. 4 of us will share the same bed. And
same age group, everybody.
Yeah, we're the same age group, and my aunt is a great cook. Even when I was in high school, I will still kind of like call her after school and be like, I'm gonna come to your house, cook me this and that. And then she would just cook, and she would complain. She's like, you ordered like I'm a special cook or something. And I'm like, yeah, I did, and you cooked.
you give her a whole menu and she would cook it?
Yes, she's lovely. I that's one part that I miss about going back to China. My personal chef.
That's so nice of her.
She's lovely.
Right. So education in China is known to be very intense. What were your school years like?
I think different years was different. Like primary school, it's built up. Like primary school was hard, and then junior high was hard, and then senior high was like extremely hard. And there's a lot of pressure holding on to one exam. Like when you were, like it's a lot of competition. Like when you're in primary school, you are compete to get into a good junior high. When you're in junior high, there is like 中考. So 中考 is basically you take the exam in after junior high, and that will determine which junior high, senior high you get to. And for that, it was very pressure because it's like it will determine the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's very stressful for
and
kids.
It's all hold on to this one exam. It does not matter you did so well for the past 3 years. If you fucked up on that one, you're done. Like you're going to a horrible school, or you redo it. Yeah, which it can be very stressful too. It's like or nothing.
Do you need to wait a whole year to take that exam? Oh,
yes. Yeah, there's nothing in the middle.
That must be a nightmare for a lot of Chinese students.
Yeah, or if your family have money, you can technically spend a lot of money to buy your kid, but you won't be the kid, like you won't be the formal student there. You will be like a special student in a good school. Yeah, there is that route, or they can send you to private school, which is a lot of money. So it's kind of like a lot at stake for this 3 days exam.
Wow.
So that was very stressful. And then And then, of course, Gao Kao, right? Like the one school determine which university you get to. And China is like very hierarchical. For junior high, you have the city, like the city-wise good school, and then a second tier of the provincial-wise good school. And then you have the top 2-1, like that is like the prime of senior high school. And then for university, you also have tiers. You have the first tier. And within the first tier, you have, they call it 985 and then 211. There's like the good. Like you have Tsinghua, you have Beida, and then the 958, 211. I know it's just random terms. It's group of school that being classified as good, better. Right. And once it belongs to that is more better, like a standard for university. It's kind of like here you have the ranking for university, but we have like more of the grouping rather than just what number 1, number 2. We have like this group is that category and that group have that category. And then we have the first class, and then we have second class and third class, and then you have college. So you see like our entire educational life is being separated with, you have a certain mark, then you're being placed into a place that they would be like, you are first tier, you are second tier, like very hierarchical value-based system that you got assigned to, tied very closely to a 3-day exam you do very intensively.
Were you always a good student, or were there times that you had to struggle with studying?
Before college, I was always, that's a weird thing. It's like, I'm always a problematic student, but I'm always the smart kid. So people don't, like my teacher does not understand me and my family doesn't understand me. That
doesn't really go together most of the time, right?
No.
Most of the time, the problematic kids, they are not good students.
Yes. But
and vice versa. Yes.
Yeah. But because of that paradox, they would think I'm lazy. They would think I'm don't care or I'm causing trouble. But I literally just cannot remember where is my textbook. It's an attention issue, right? It's undiagnosed ADHD. So yeah, I've always been the problematic kid. Well, I don't mean to cause trouble. Like I remember in primary school, I have to there's like a thing they do. Like you have to sit here, don't move for like 15 minutes. For me, it's hell. I have.
Is it like an exercise, or
it's just
they just
practice.
Tell you to do that to discipline you?
I think it's discipline or exercise. It helps you to be a more mature person.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It trains you to sit still. Somehow it's considered an important quality in life. And it's like right now, like camera can see I'm like steaming secretly with this thing. I cannot sit still. It's how my brain regulates. Like steaming is part of how ASD brain regulate the nervous system. You ask me to sit still, I will become very nervous and anxious and I have this.
It's like a punishment.
Yeah, it's a punishment for me. For other kids, that's discipline. For me, it was hell. And I can't. And I will get into trouble for that. And then they will think I'm causing trouble deliberately, and I am not. But I also cannot explain to them, I don't have the vocabulary to explain what is happening. And when I tell them that I'm uncomfortable, they'll be like, no, you choose to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was like...
I'm not doing it intentionally.
I don't want to be uncomfortable, but I am. But they don't believe it because you are not normally are not uncomfortable with that. You just choose to move. But for me, it's like, I have to move so I'm not uncomfortable. It's my brain set up differently. But there is no room for that and got into a lot of trouble.
You mentioned Gao Kao earlier, right? The Chinese entrance exam. What was your experience like preparing for the Gao Kao?
It was actually funny because I, with years built up to not being understood, overcompensate. And also I have a lot of things that's happening, like as a woman you get your period around like high school time, and a lot of neurodivergent women actually have a condition called PMDD, which I at this time currently at 29, oh my god, I'm 29 years old, still struggling with.
What is PDD?
PMDD is the week before my period I'm depressed.
Okay.
That's
every time, or just the first time?
Almost every time.
Okay.
Like even now, right now I'm a therapist. Sometimes there will be a week that after every single session, I'm like, my client hates me. And then I will go check my calendar. I literally have an app and go, yeah, I'm going to get my period next week. It's all good. It's just the PMDD talking. It's like for a week, you're literally depressed. And you're tired, you're moody, and it's kind of like everyone knows PMS. It's just a little bit extreme mood than PMS. And with that, I just struggling with that as well without any help, struggling with ADHD without any help. And with everything built up, I started having breakdowns in the last year of my high school. I would go to school, have breakdowns, go back home, and then just giving up going to school altogether for the last semester. And then I take the exam. I didn't manage to get to the second tier.
Right.
It's not ideal, but I still get
It's not bad at all.
Okay, I'm Asian.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We're Asian, so for us, if we don't get to the first tier, it was
first tier or
nothing. But simultaneously, for me, it's always weird because everybody is like, you should be happy. Everybody was surprised, but only I know that I struggle for the entire year. And sometimes every now and then go back and think, oh, if I have the right support, if I know what I know now, if I have the skills to manage that breakdown, I have the vocabulary to explain to people what is happening, tell them how to support me. Mm-hmm. There's so much waste potential and opportunities in my life.
What about the education side of it? Did you struggle with like studying for it, for the exam or not? Or preparing for it?
I didn't get to prepare for it. But partially it's because I cannot keep up. It was a crazy setup. It was like you go to school at really early in the morning, you go back home really late around 10 p.m. and then you still have homework to do after that. So I think my body, my mind cannot push anymore. I think for a lot of other kids, they are exhausted. Everybody was exhausted. But maybe the cap is higher for a neurotypical brain than a neurodivergent brain. So I reached the breakdown before the end of it. So I kind of like give up before the finish line.
You said you overcompensated a lot. How did you do that?
Yeah, because for example, I will go back to school, like the school end at 10, go back to school at 11. I will directly go to sleep and then I will wake up at 3 to study.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah. Like everyone was surprised about the mark I got for me to get to senior school, but only I know that there are so many nights I wake up at 3 doing practice math or practice
Studying
English.
Hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
Yeah. But simultaneously,
not the whole year throughout, right?
I can't because I think I have the seasonal depression back then because from September to January, I was doing good. January hits, I was just like sleepy and sad and cannot get up all the time. So yeah, a lot of time I look back, it's just there's so much missed opportunity for me and I can do so much better. And I also know that I tried my best, even though back then it's being seen as I am being lazy.
A lot of people would just misunderstand you because of that.
Yes, or I'm lazy, I'm careless.
They wouldn't get it, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't get it. I can't, and I don't get it. I internalize that for a really long time. I think I'm lazy, even though I also know I wake up at 3 to study. But simultaneously, I do forget my homework.
Did you feel like your worth was related to your performance?
I think so for a really long time. And now it's not how I judge, it's how the external value system assigned you to a certain social status based on your performance, right? Like literally our school system have first year, second year, like
for sure.
They're grouping us and letting us know that no, that is better. You are second year.
You're not as good as them.
Yeah, so it's I think we have it here as well, like certain North America society, certain careers, certain professions are being considered more prestige. They have more social currency in a way. They got more respect when they were in the room.
Higher social status.
Exactly, but it's less obvious.
Yes.
But in Asian, we're like, no, that's first year.
It's definitely an Asian thing, right?
Yeah, we were so obvious about it. And as a kid, you really internalize that.
How did the system shape you? The way you see yourself or the world today?
I think how I see the world today and how I see myself was more shaped by how I study the system, like being a sociology student, the critical thinking, the understanding. Like one big thing for me is to understand that there are narratives, there are discourse, and sometimes you need to jump outside of that and evaluate that. And there's another part of like reality is never one-sided. It's like your fact, your reality is just your perspective, and it has multitudes, and there will be another perspective, and the change of the perspective change everything. And for me to be kind of take a step back from my own way of seeing the world and to see it more critically and more well-rounded and being able to do perspective taking, I think to study the system that way make me who I am today. Yeah, sociology student. We love that. I'm a nerd.
Were there some things that you learned that you had to unlearn in life?
I'm actually thinking about that earlier. I think one big thing would be, one thing is hierarchical thinking.
Right.
And that's not just an Asian thing, that's everywhere. Good and bad. Like think about even emotion, like the binary emotion and rationality. Rationality is superior than emotion. That's hierarchical thinking.
Right.
Rather than I'm a person with emotion and I'm a person with logic, and then take a step back and look at it all together and accept it all, rather than being like one is better than another. So I think one thing and because we all grew up with hierarchical thinking, we all slowly internalize that. And with that, you would sometimes beat yourself up or beat other people up because I'm better. I'm in a higher hierarchy. You may not be aware of that, but if you have this internalized hierarchical way of looking at the world and yourself, you would either look down at others or look down at yourself. It's inevitable because the hierarchy is there. And I'm trying my best to notice whenever I am seeing anything in this linear way, like this way, and to be like, no, it's just we all exist. Are
you also trying to avoid it? The hierarchy or the system?
I don't think I'm avoiding it. I think avoiding it is denial. I think sometimes we need to acknowledge that we would be put into that hierarchy, or someone else will be experiencing the positive or negative consequences of that hierarchy. That's just a social reality, but it does not necessarily need to be my internal reality. Like I can see beyond that type of thing. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You are, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to dive deeper into that to understand it better. Yeah. Did things change when you got into junior high?
Junior high.
After your Gao Kao.
Gao Kao. No, Gao Kao then is university. Junior high, right. Senior high. After junior high, we did 中考 and then senior high. I think senior high is harder for me. Partially because I don't like the teacher back then.
Just one teacher or all the teachers?
It's one teacher, but he is like the primary teacher for the class.
Okay,
and he
like
really set up the class culture, like the environment.
Right.
And I think that's partially
that's their job.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, because he's the one that the most.
Yes, he's in charge of the whole class.
He's
all the students.
Yeah, all the students, and he's primarily our go-to person. And I think he set up an environment where people picking each other. Yeah, he has
like a toxic environment.
Yeah, he will pick favorite.
Oh, okay.
He picked favorites, and there's also some money thing involved. He was trying to he opened a SAD business, and if you participant in his SAD business class,
Right. Like
he would
tutoring.
Yeah, he would. It's very expensive, first of all, and then he will be very nice to you, and you can make a mistake, and he will just let it go.
Right.
Versus if you're not, he will be super harsh. And for me, that's so wrong. And I can observe it. And it's really funny because he wanted me to be in his class. I was there and I noticed that he's treating me better. And I quit just out of despite. And he has been a jerk to me, but he cannot do anything to me because I was like, okay, now I'm going to be a really good student.
Because you were a good student.
I am. I'm smart. And
no doubt about that.
I was just like being very despite him. Really do. I don't like him, and I think what he's doing is unfair.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of like I have a really strong sense of justice, and it does not matter if I'm benefiting from it. I was benefiting from that because I was in his class, so I quit.
That was your decision. That's what you decided to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna participate.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here, and you can be mean to me, but I will be meaner.
I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, but because of that, the environment was really toxic.
Right.
And I think that really added on to my breakdown when I was in third year, because everyone was intense. I will feel like when I step into the room, I feel like it tensed up. Mm-hmm. Like it's physical for me. Like I can just.
Did you have difficulty breathing or
yes.
what? Okay.
Yes. The moment, like I remember just one day at the third year, it was just, I cannot be here. This is so tense. I cannot breathe.
And your heart racing?
Yeah, I literally, back then I thought I had panic attack. I think the first one was panic attack, but moving on is just snowballing to every single time I get a little bit tensed out. People was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And everybody started rushing in and asking me, and it's actually autistic breakdown. Like I will be like, nobody talk with me. Nobody talk with me. Please don't talk with me. And please don't touch me because I'm having an autistic breakdown here. But I don't have the word there.
Did people actually understand what you were
I don't even
about?
understand. I don't know what's going on with me. That's why I was just like, okay, I'm going to just be at home now because I'm weird. But it's really interesting. Everybody know I'm not normal. That's something wrong. But nobody do anything. Like my family didn't do anything. They're just like, yeah, he does not want to go to school.
Why not?
Because, okay,
were
back
they
then,
trying to like avoid
they
it?
were also kind of come to a place of acceptance. They were like, okay, she cannot study anymore. She's going abroad in a couple years. It's all right. She's gonna just get into whatever school she will get into, or not get into school. She's prepared to go abroad. But nobody start considering the fact that I will go to school, have a breakdown, means something is wrong with this kid and we need to do something.
So after all that, you decided to move abroad, move to Canada?
No.
You left all that behind?
Nah, it's not my decision. I was very young. I would say...
How old were you?
I was 18, 17, 18. It's not my choice. My mom is here first. She's here, she's married, she applying me to go abroad. So it's not my decision. Like I don't technically have the freedom, like, no, thank you. I'm gonna stay here.
So she sort of forced you to move here with her?
It wouldn't be forced. Like in a way that I never grew up with my mother. I always have this fantasy about what life would be to live next to my mother. It's kind of like a thing you always look forward to because you grew up without a parent. And that just seems like the normal thing to do, to be next to your mom, right? And I was 18. And yeah, so I guess I'm going abroad and study. And as I'm learning more about going abroad, it's funny because, just the cat, sorry. I learned a lot about North America culture from TV shows. So I was very looking forward for that because, well, from comedy seems like a fun place to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks to the comedians, right?
Yeah, exactly. Modern Family is my go-to, and that's where I learn about North America. A lot of wrong ideas, but overall, it's pretty chill, and I would like that. So, yeah, but alternatively, it's not my decision. I was too young to actually make an informed decision.
What did you expect Canada to be like? And did it meet your expectations?
I don't have a concept about what Canada is going to look like. That's a sincere answer because, well, the TV show I was watching is Modern Family.
Okay.
It's not here. I was kind of expect an environment like that, like diverse, open, fun. I think the most, it sounds so weird. The most thing I'm looking forward to was Halloween.
Halloween?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So how was your Halloween after you got here?
I love it. It was, somehow that was the most thing that I'm looking forward to. The other thing I'm like, whatever.
Did you go totally nuts on your first Halloween?
I don't think I go totally nuts, but I did have costume. Like I was like costume shopping with my friend. I was so happy. I remember I have like a green Robin Hood, like the one with hoodie and like arch.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was like all in. And the second year was vampire, and I did 1 year with the corpse bread. Yeah, I have the blue wig right there in my like closet.
Wow.
It's like the blue wig. I'm gonna do another blue hair character because I have a wig now.
Are you gonna do Harley Quinn?
I want to, but simultaneously no, because I didn't find a Harley Quinn costume yet. They're all very expensive, and I'm cheap. Yes and no. I would think about it. But and also Harley Quinn's not blue hair.
She's like half blue, half pink, right?
It's white.
Oh, it's her hair probably.
Yeah, it's the white and then a little bit pink and a little bit blue.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a total different wig.
I didn't watch the movie, so
yeah, I watched the
animation. I have some idea, not 100% sure about that.
I kind of get it, but yeah, no, she has a little bit blue hair.
What was your biggest culture shock after you got here?
My biggest cultural shock would be it's also the first cultural shock.
Halloween?
Nah. It was college and how open people are about sex. Remember, come from China.
Right.
Chinese education, Chinese environment. My mom threw me to Frosh Week. No prep. And also she told me, don't worry, there will be about a lot of Chinese kids there. I was in sociology, okay? There was no Chinese kids there.
No Chinese kids in sociology?
It's sociology. It's so linguistic based. Mm-hmm. There were like so little Chinese people there. And also it's Frosh Week. It's like such a foreign concept. But my parents dropped me off there, and then the first day they were like having a dance about consent. And I was like, what is consent? What is going on here?
Right. What is going on?
What is going on?
You didn't understand any of it.
We don't even have sex education.
Yeah, that's true. In China, there is no such thing.
Then what do you mean? Like, if you ask your parents where did that come from, they're like, garbage bin.
Right. Somebody just dropped you there and we picked you up.
Exactly. Zero sex education and drop you in with a group environment. And the Frosh lead was like on the stage dancing and being like, what is, like they have like, I remember they have a little song and it was kind of sexual. And I was just standing here like, what is happening? What is happening? I was so confused. I understand like 40% of things as well. Right. It was a day.
Wow. Tell me more.
It was just fun. And also I was very shocked that where are all the Chinese people you guys tell me about?
Yeah.
Where
did they all go?
They go to accounting.
Accounting.
Sorry for
Math.
the stereotype. Like, yeah. Or computer.
Computers, right?
Yeah, it's literally statistics. Mm-hmm. Those are more Chinese people, like media. Even media study, you have a couple. But sociology, there are really...
Wow.
Not much Chinese people there. I think I met one in my college life and he dropped off the second year.
Oh, he realized it was not for him.
Yeah. I didn't meet a couple of Chinese people in psychology, but in sociology, zero. It was tough.
Did you ever feel like you or felt like you didn't belong here?
I actually feel like the first time I actually feel very strongly belong is in college. No, that's a lie. I feel belong when I was in high school, but I only feel a sense of belonging with my selective group of friends. And then when I'm in university, I start to have a community feeling with sociology department. So with that, I start building the sense of belonging. And there's a cat behind your head.
Oh my God, I scared it.
It's all right. There's a cat over here. Hi, buddy. Yeah, so I do feel a sense of belonging in college with that community there and belonging with my friends.
Were you able to make your friends group
Here?
in college? Yes.
Yes. And I'm still hanging out with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have, the other day I'm like, I'm 29 years old. I have been here for 9 years. It's 1/3 of my life. And I have old friends who I make I don't know if you can see the photo there, but I know them since first year of college. And we're still in each other's lives. We literally just went to a spa 2 weeks ago. Those are my gal. I feel like they're my sister at this point.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have a community here. And the community is all those people you met. And even though they're from different backgrounds, you still keep in touch. Mm-hmm. You make an effort. And with years built up, you do know each other.
I was going to ask you next. Mm-hmm. How did you build your new identity here? Your new circle?
I don't know how. I just did.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's easier to build it as when you're a student?
I think...
When you're younger?
Okay, I don't think that's how I understand it. It's a little bit philosophical, so bear with me. You know the word human being?
Yes.
I think we're human becoming.
What does that mean?
Being is a constant process of becoming. So I don't think in any way my identity is already shifted. And it's already this is it. This is who I am.
Right.
Even at the beginning, you asked me, introduce yourself. I introduced my social rule. But who I am as a person is beyond all those labels I can put on me. And it's constant becoming. So it's
always changing.
It's always changing. Yeah, it's always shifting. It depends on which stage you are in your life, what people you let in your life, what people leave, how did they leave, what did you learn from the relationship. I think it's just a constant change of becoming. So I feel like I'm not building an identity. With things I experience, I'm slowly becoming me. And I'm currently, the being, is slowly becoming something else. So another 5 years, I'll be like, oh, this is me now.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
A very interesting point of view.
Sociological. I think it's a sociology thing. I think it's one of the sociology theory we learn in school that really stay with me. Every now and then, I think on my journal, I even write, Vicky, remember that being is a process of becoming. You decide who you want to be and who you are going to be.
So the last time you mentioned that you have AuDHD.
Yeah, AuDHD.
And systemic lupus as well.
Yeah.
Right? What is systemic lupus?
This heavy topic. Well, I'm very comfortable talking about ADHD. Lupus is a little bit harsh.
I have a definition here for systemic lupus.
Yeah.
The definition says systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, is a chronic, unpredictable autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks healthy tissues, causing inflammation and potential damage to the skin, joints, kidneys, brain, lungs, and heart.
Yep.
It most commonly affects women of childbearing age with symptoms including extreme fatigue, fever, joint pain, and a characteristic butterfly-shaped facial rash.
Yep. I got the systematic one, and mine is really complicated because I think by the time they finally diagnosed me, there was involvement of my kidney and my brain. I have a condition called IH, basically means the tension inside my head was really heavy that it's pushing on my eye nerves.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like if they haven't diagnosed me back then, if they still are not diagnosing me, there is a real chance that I may lose my vision.
You damage to your optic nerve?
Yeah, it could be. It's not, back then I remember they find that out because they were doing the vision test.
Right.
For years I keep telling them I don't have peripheral sight, and people are like, what do you mean you don't have peripheral sight? But then later on they're like, yeah, because your
How's that even possible? People will understand that.
But your brain is pushing your nerve. And that really limit the field vision. And then with medication is manageable. I actually don't have that condition now. But yeah, it was a really serious illness.
Is it the inflammation of the brain?
Yeah, I do have inflammation of my brain. For a really long time, they think I have depression. But I'm not a depressed person. I'm a really positive person.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, and
you have
but
a lot of positive energy coming out of you all the time.
Yeah, but back then there was like 2 years that I know I have psychology as second major. I know every single cognitive restriction, but I'm just anxious because I cannot control it. But turns out that when your brain is inflamed, you will be depressed. When your brain is inflamed, you will be anxious. And also with the hypertension, it will lead to depression. And another thing with that, for 2 years, I have untreated lupus. I was in pain all the time. I keep telling all my doctors, like, I feel like my arm are that meat that I have to carry it every day. Like, I'm always inflamed. Like, every tissue in my body was inflamed.
You could not feel your arms or what?
They're just in pain. They're always inflamed. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it was tough. But it was like the medical gaslighting in a way, because it's everywhere. I report so much symptom, they just don't believe me.
What about the other parts of the body?
They tested me for the past, before I was diagnosed with lupus, for the 5 years, they tested me asthma for 4 times because I keep having random lung infection.
So they thought it was just asthma?
Yeah, they tested me asthma in so many different ways as well. Like, there was just the breathing way. There was like one time they put me in a cube and they want me to cough and have mucus and test for asthma. I don't have asthma. Mm-hmm. But they don't know why I have lung infection randomly every time season change. And that goes back to my overcompensation. With that, I wrote a thesis for graduation. Right. I have major, minor, sociology, psychology, 8.0 GPA, write a thesis. I was in grad school, and my grad school GPA is 6.7.
Oh, thank you so much for showing off.
Yes, overcompensating.
Right.
I did all of that, which makes them believing less that I am in pain. I keep saying I am in pain. I cannot do anything. I don't have a life. I'm tired, but it's just not believable because on paper I have everything together. So yeah, it was to the point that my body cannot take it anymore. I was in the hospital, and they have been testing. They were like literally taking blood. I don't know if anyone did that before, but they will test your blood environment to see which thing is causing your infection. They will have like a little cubic, like a little box of blood. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They would take like box, like tiny little box container of blood to test every single thing. And they suspect I have sepsis. But it turns out that it's systematic lupus and is attacking, I think I have so many I have multiple organ inflammation, my kidney, my liver. I think there's another organ name I forgot, but that was extremely painful. And my blood pressure was below the sustainable lifeline. And I was in hospital for 8 days until they were like, oh, this is lupus, here's prednisone.
So when were you diagnosed?
2022, I think. 2022. Yeah, and I think the earliest notable symptom I can recall would be for almost 2 to 3 years. think I have that when I was in college, when I suddenly become very depressed.
So did you always feel like something's off? But
yeah, I know my body is wrong. But they put me on antidepressant for a year, and I become a happiness zombie. I just sleep and forget things.
Oh.
Because when you don't actually have depression, you are on antidepressant, you are very happy. You sleep, you drink, you put on a lot of weight, but it does not solve anything for me. And my body just keep deteriorating from there until it just like at a point that everything in my body was inflamed. I almost died, and they take me almost dying for the medical stuff to actually believing in me and to investigate and to give me a formal diagnosis.
How does lupus affect your day-to-day life now?
Lupus is a really interesting illness. It has the flare period. It also has the normal period. I'm no longer in flare. My lupus is very well controlled. I'm responding to the medication really well.
That's great.
Thank you. I'm really happy for that. When you are on flare, the only thing you can take is prednisone. And I don't know how much you know about prednisone, but it's not a good medication. It's amazing medication, okay? It saved my life. But simultaneously, it gives you the moon phase. It's steroid. It gives you the moon phase. You put on a lot of weight. And with that, it was, for a really long time, I look into the mirror, I don't recognize who I am. Because my face structure changed. I look different, like it's a different person. And when you are suffering from a physical illness for so long without proper treatment, you don't feel like you. I'm an energetic person, but for 2 years, I can barely do anything.
So you think you are very different from what you were a few years ago?
For that 2 years I was sick, it was really hard for me to recollect who I am because I enjoy going out. I can't. I'm in pain all the time. I enjoy organizing things. I can't because I'm in pain all the time. And it goes back to, it seems like that I have everything together.
Right.
I have school together. I'm finishing my paper. I was get into grad school. But simultaneously, like that's all I can manage. And other than that, it was pain. So then I recall I was like having a mental breakdown. I was like, I'm a human to-do list and a vessel of pain. That's how I describe myself. That's the two things. I got things done and I'm in pain. I have no other mode in the middle. There is no room for me to breathe. And even when I'm like on a break, all I feel is pain. So I was like really dependent on weed because that's the only thing that helped me to manage the pain. It was a really tough time. So yeah, when you were being sick for that long without proper treatment, it does bit by bit break you down and make you question who I am, what's the point? You feel empty, you feel hopeless, you feel helplessness because I don't know what's going on. And I more than anybody want to fix me. And I've been trying to tell you that this has been happening and nobody gave me an answer. Like, can you imagine being tested for asthma 4 times?
That's, yeah.
Like, it's crazy. At that point, you're just angry. And you don't even know who to be angry at because every single doctor is not giving you an answer. And here, another thing is the medical doctor, they look at their part, right? And then they just start gaslighting me. They're like, oh, you're just too stressed out.
Were they all specialists or what?
Yeah, but the thing about systemic lupus is like every specialist will be like, you have a skin rash. Here is the skin rash medication. You have a joint pain. Kids don't have joint pain.
They don't understand that it's an autoimmune disease that's causing it, and if it's affecting multiple parts
it's like the
of your
lung.
body.
Why are you having lung infection? Is it asthma? I'm like, no. Like I was like so mad when they mentioned the asthma again, and they're like, maybe it's a really hard to detect the asthma, you know? Like we're gonna put you in the tube and test. It's like really horrible experience, and a lot of gaslighting. But the thing is, it's systematic. So every single specialist will look at you like,
and then
it's not that severe,
right?
But
they'd only look at their system, right?
Yeah, but mine. But all of a sudden, when you know it's an autoimmune, it just makes sense. Yeah, it attacks everything.
So how do you manage your physical and mental energy now?
Right now, I'm not in active flare. Yeah,
What does that mean?
So basically, I took a lot of medication to manage that. I have to make a decision in a way that I'm not gonna let my lupus, my illness, decide who I am. Like my life, I'm not it's really hard with chronic condition because I am a lupus patient. I always will be, and I cannot get off on medication recklessly. That's suicide. Don't want to do that. But simultaneously, I cannot live my life as always as, oh, I have lupus, right? It's like kind of like, it cannot be governing my life. And I've been trying my best to do so. Every now and then there will be anxiety, and I'm a therapist. I have to just tell myself like, hey, Joe.
You just have to put it behind your back.
In a way, like of course, I'm constantly checking in with my doctor. I'm very on point with my medication. I have my little medication box. I make sure I'm taking my medication on time. I learned about lupus, and I'm very knowledgeable about lupus, and I know all the early signs. For example, if I have like upper arm pain, I'll be thinking, like really mindfully thinking, oh, that's probably because I was playing volleyball. That's not a sign for lupus. And if I have my hands was painful, I'm like, I need to be thinking, is that joint, or just like I've been typing for like 3 days straight for the assignment. So there's a lot of mindfulness, checking in, reassurance, and be proactive, but also do not be anxious. It's a fine line, basically. Like, it's normal to be stressed. It's also, you need to monitor, is the stress based on the reality and facts, or is the stress based on your own fear of the flare? Because I am scared of having another flare, and I have every right to be. It's normal, because flare means I need to get back on prednisone, means that my life will have a pause. But simultaneously, every now and then I need to tell myself, if I have a flare, I survive it once, I will survive it again. So it's a lot of reassurance and grounding and mindfulness and a lot of acceptance. This is my life. This is hard. And I may get tired more often than other people. And therefore, I need to respect my own body and communicate and listen to it.
I think that is a very smart way of dealing with it.
Yeah, thank you. I've tried my best. It's a lot of mindfulness and a lot of self-therapy and actual therapy.
So did these challenges help you understand yourself better?
I think those challenges are myself. It's kind of like, that's just part of who I am, and that make me who I am. I think partially, I think one thing I would say I'm proud of myself is going through 2 years of hell, probably 3. I do think I have lupus a lot longer. I think my physical health is always weird. And going through the medical gaslighting, I'm really proud that I'm not cynical. The cat is playing. And that sympathetic joy, you look at him playing that fake little mouse, you're like, this is happiness, sympathetic joy, right? And I'm glad that with all that, I can feel that. So I'm not a cynical person. And
That's awesome.
Don't really buy in that I am the victim of a certain system. It's an unfortunate thing that happened to me. And it make my life hard, of course. This illness is hard, of course. And I have a life with this being part of it.
Which means you're actually very positive.
Yeah, I think so.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. What's something people don't see about living like this, or they don't understand?
I think a lot of time I don't really focus on, I think partially at the beginning, you want everybody to see how much pain you're in for a little while. I need you to see me. I'm in pain, see me. I need you to understand. I think I give up a lot on that, like holding on to this attachment of I need people to understand, because I understand me. I see me. And if I care about you, if you're in my life, if I want to explain to you, I would. If sometimes I'm like, it's okay, I don't need to defend myself to you, I'm just like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But I would say one thing that is kind of like still is something I'm navigating would be my mother. It's also beyond lupus, it's ADHD. It's really hard for me to do housekeeping tasks. It's terrible. I hate laundry. It's really hard because all those tasks are very executive functioning, and they're very boring and repetitive, and it's not interesting for me. It's
Definitely.
really hard for me. And then on top of that,
sure not for a lot of people, including myself.
Yes. Yeah. Just imagine that. And on top of that, you don't have an inner directing system to guide you through that. And it's really hard. Sometimes when she's being judgmental, sometimes I'm like,
does she not help you out with?
She's helping me out, but she's helping me
chores?
out in a way that can be a little bit pushy and make me feel bad. Well, I just sometimes like, I know I did my best. I try my best. It just, sometimes it can be really, really hard for me. And I have to make a choice. So a lot of time I make a choice that lead to my house being a mess, but my score is being high.
That's amazing, isn't it?
I'm trying to balance it out. I'm trying to slowly to kind of like, you have to delegate. You have to be okay with a balanced way of you're doing good at work. You don't need to do excellent. And you're also doing good in life. Or in a way that don't cut back on the things that increase your life quality, because that's what I have been doing a lot. I sacrifice. The overcompensating is you do perfect in one area of things that it's considered worthy, and then you ignore the other part of things that sustain you. I'm trying to find more of a balance. I want to do amazing at my work, don't get me wrong. And especially I work with clients. I care about my client. I need to do good with my work. I need to be there. But simultaneously, I need to not work 40 hours a week like typical full-time worker, because maybe that's not my energy capacity. I can cut back hours, but still do good work and use those cut back hours to make sure that I have a quality life that sustains me in the long term. I think that's something I'm trying to work on. Not perfect at, but try.
I feel you're doing great already.
Well, you're in my space. There is a reason why I'm not opening one of the upstairs room door. Okay. Yeah.
No problem. No judgments. So, somehow through all of this, you decided to help others and become a therapist.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to become a therapist?
I'm like, looking back, it's just like this career makes so much sense to me. Like, think about things I like. I like reading books, but not like reading about the story twist. I love analyzing character. When I watch shows, I'm analyzing character. When I love musical, very emotional. Like, think about that. Musical have less like plot twist, but more musical intensity. Like the emotional intensity. I love figuring out people. I love that since I was 7.
Oh, at a very young age.
Yeah, I was analyzing people's pattern when I was really young, just for fun. And yeah, so right now, a lot of time, I think partially what motivates me for my work is like, every time I'm getting to know a new client, it's like putting together a puzzle that I'm actually interested in, because the puzzle is a person.
For sure.
And then I love sociology. What's sociology? Understanding people, right? Like, people are part of society. We want to understand. So I love that to begin with. That's one thing. And another thing is I started work in a women's center. And as I'm learning more about IVP, intimate partner violence, IPV, the more I'm like, trauma is interesting. Like, how a human being can living in a horrible condition, but because of the trauma, their brain kind of like get used to it, and they keep repeating the same pattern over and over again without realizing it. And how can I support the person in that position to build something new?
Is it the same as boiling frogs?
In a way, but it's much more complicated than that. In a way, it's kind of like once you get used to it, you're familiar with it. You don't IPV. A lot of that is because the person who abuses you are not gonna strangle you on your first date.
Yeah.
And then it also, we get to that. Yeah, I guess we are. But it's kind of like that traumatic relationship has a cycle. It begins with the honeymoon. It's like the love bombing. It's all the good things. And then it's the tension building simultaneously. And then the incident. And the incident release the tension, and then you go back to honeymoon, and then the tension building, and then the incident. So a lot of time when you're in the cycle, it's really hard to see, because when you're in the honeymoon, you were just, this person would apologize, this person would do a nice thing for you. So it's really hard. They will have a reason why they were doing this and that. And you start thinking, did I do something wrong to trigger that? When you're in the tension building, you're constantly watching out. So it's really hard for the person to be like, oh, this is abusive, this is harming me. But it's like, I'm navigating it, but it's just like a cycle. And it's really hard to see it when you're in it.
So why did you choose trauma and ADHD specifically?
I think the AuDHD and specifically, first of all, it's like I already have so much background knowledge about AuDHD.
Yeah. Because,
oh my God, nobody diagnosed women with ASD, okay? I have to literally give a presentation on why I think I have it. I already have a lot of background knowledge on that. So that's just a niche that it's there for me. I already am knowledgeable on it. I've did so much additional reading on that on top of my school reading and learning and training about being a therapist. So why not? But on trauma, that's begin with when I realized trauma is not just this one time thing and then it's over. I realized that trauma has a longer impact and it will repeat. It's like fire. It will pass down and it will inflate on other people even when you don't want to. So kind of want to break some cycle, I guess.
Did your own experience led to this decision?
Definitely in a lot of ways. Like, I would say my life, there are some traumatic events that has happening. I mentioned intergenerational trauma, how my family's difficulty of regulating emotion when things are getting stressful make me very anxious because like as a kid, I need to monitor their temper. As a 10 years old, I'm like, don't say that, grandmother will get mad. Like I would constantly in that head and make me very tense and make me very hyper aware. And so just, one thing's led to another. But I think the main motivator for me, I want to make a change. I want to break out the cycle. I want to break out the cycle for me. And it just happened to be able to do it for other people. And another thing is, ever since I was a kid, there will be normally some random people telling me their life story because all of a sudden they trust me. And I guess I just like set me up.
Positive energy, right?
I guess like it just set me up for this career in a way that I'm so approachable. It's a little bit easier. like trust, the relationship is the key for any modality you use. That therapeutic relationship, your capacity to feel that I can trust this person. And I think I have that vibe.
So what patterns do you see in people with childhood trauma?
Oh, it's so complicated. It's really hard to say this will definitely happen to you. Even if like there will be common theme and common symptom, the manifestation in daily life will be different.
Let's talk about the main ones or the most common ones.
The most common one, I would say difficulties with closeness and attachment, because childhood trauma is attachment injury. So you may find it very hard to connect with another person. You're either super anxiously attached and or you're like kind of avoiding all closeness altogether. So you're really you could be like a little bit over dependent on the relationship and you cannot separate yourself from it, and other people's opinion would shift your entire identity and you would get into the panic mode. Or you will be very close off. Like, nobody touch me. Leave me alone. Like, this is not safe. You don't cross that line of closeness. But then you will be lonely. The first one is just chaotic, right? But that both have a common root is you never had a healthy way to connect and attach to another person while having a healthy autonomy. So you don't know how, and you're creating a new how and something new.
Is that what avoidant attachment style is like?
Yeah. You know, but it goes back to the root of attachment theory. Like, some people is avoidant, anxious avoidance, just avoidance and anxious. It's that. It's kind of like if you have a secure attachment, it's a lot easier. If you never had it, therapy is basically the room for you, a space for you to reflect, understand your old way of attaching, and slowly build a new one. And you need to trust that you can.
You deal with clients in both English and Chinese, right?
Yes.
How do you manage that? And how does that work? I remember you talking about it one time. It was very interesting to hear.
I think I talk about one day I have English, Mandarin, English, Mandarin, English, Mandarin, and the first 5 minutes I'm like, wait a second, let me do code switching.
You need to shift the gears.
I need to. I actually learned so much with working with my Mandarin client. With English clients, like, I learned psychotherapy in English. A lot of words, it comes so easy. And I also have done therapy in English. Like, my therapist speaks English.
College in English
in
as well.
English. I learned psychology at all in
Basically
English.
everything in English. So it was hard for you to relearn everything in Chinese, right?
Yeah. But as I am becoming a more matured psychotherapist, I notice a lot of Mandarin clients have code switch.
What is that?
It's a new term. I'm coining it.
Oh, okay.
I'm coining it.
It's in the dictionary already?
Yes. I have no other word to describe it, but it's really interesting because we will talk about things and the client will describe a conflict happen between the client and someone in their life that triggers certain strong emotion, also speak Mandarin. But all of a sudden, when the strong emotion and something that person said both become English, it's kind of like a way to create this distance from the core emotion and the hurtful sentence. And it was so automatic. And I noticed it happen a couple of times. So right now I'm immediately like, hey, why all of a sudden you're speaking English to me?
That happens? That's so strange.
That happens so many times.
I have never seen Chinese people doing that with each other. They always speak Chinese if they can.
Yes.
That is strange.
Yeah, but when it comes to the other day, one of the emotion come up is resentment. Feels so wrong to say in Mandarin. Even for me, I want to reflect the feeling. It was like, it sounds to me that you're still feeling a little bit, a part of you is holding on to the resentment. And before I say resentment out, like 怨恨, I was like,
hold on a second. Am I using the right word?
No, I know I'm using the right word.
Okay.
Because resentment is coming to my mind and translating resentment is 怨恨. I know it. I know for sure. And I know that's the emotion. But even for me to verbally say that out loud, it's hard.
Is it because it's such a heavy word in Chinese?
Yeah, and also Chinese, also goes back to Chinese is not just a singular word. Both words have meaning. 怨 has a meaning. 恨 has a really strong meaning that also is wrong for us to have.
So what
has the moral implication.
Each of them mean? What does 怨 mean?
怨 means I have some unfinished complaint. I have something to say about you. You did something wrong, and I'm still not over it. In a way.
恨is hate, right?
But resentment does not imply that, at least when you say it, it does not just directly go to your head as this is hatred here, right?
Right.
So even I notice I do code switching where certain word is so easy to say, emotion word so easy to say in English than in Mandarin. And right now, this is one of the top thing I detect when I'm working with Mandarin speaking client. I'm like, you're switching the code with me now on this specific topic. You notice that, right? And the person was like, did I? Okay.
Do you have tough clients sometimes? And how do you deal with them?
There's a lot of confidentiality policy here.
Well, you don't have to talk about specific people. You can talk about tough clients.
What can be hard for me?
Yes.
Okay. that I can talk about. Sometimes
For
it would be tough when their childhood trauma remind me of my own. And I think there is a definition called wounded heal. Wounded. Damn it, this one goes on the blooper. Wounded healer, yes.
Wounded healer.
Yeah, it's like you have trauma, you deal with that, and now you are able to provide that healing capacity. And there is also another term called transference and countertransference, which is basically sometimes you may take on a rule or you are being impacted, you're being emotionally involved with the client. And I think if there is a client coming to me with certain set of trauma, that what happened to that client when they were a kid is very similar to what happened to me as I was a kid. It's really hard to remain a little bit, because I'm not invalidating your experience, but for therapists, a lot of time it's about to putting more perspective in, to give you a little bit of room to breathe. Because if you're really tunnel vision on one explanation or this one thing, there's no room to breathe. There is no room to challenge. This is just a one horrible, unchangeable thing that has happened. Well, if you become a little bit more perspective, it's still a horrible thing that has happened to you. And it's in this context. And here's how we can deal with it. And this is what meaning we can assign to it. You see, you provide a little bit more avenue.
More context.
Yeah, for the person to be able to navigate it rather than stuck with this old one tunnel vision way. And this is the old way, right? But when the thing is hit to the home, so similar to yours, it's really hard for you to provide that avenue rather than just identify with and joining in the train of like, yes, definitely. And, or a little bit like assume, just make some more assumption of like that will be how they react at the situation because that's how I was reacting, and then you lose the listening capacity. And another part would be sometimes I notice myself. I actually did research to understand what is going on for me. So basically in interpersonal relationship, you sometimes have expectation of others and expectation of self and the treatment of others and what you expect. And apparently sometimes if I heard someone was treated as I was treated as a child, I would take on how I expect other people to treat me when I was a child, and I would take on that role for my client. So I would, for example, when I was a kid, when that happened to me, I want the person to take care of me. I would taking on the caregiver role more than being the therapist role. Of course, therapist is providing the care, but simultaneously, therapists also provide skills, change. But I would, because I'm like taking on the expectation and consumed by the expectation too much, I would just be only the caregiver, the validator, and I don't do any therapeutic intervention anymore. And I would just like keep siding with you rather than challenge anything. So that's something I'm still learning and trying. And I don't know if I'm completely making sense or is it too general?
You are totally making sense. So like we're human, right? We're not computers.
Yeah.
We're not AI. So, I mean, AI also tries its, I mean, I've used AI for some things I wanted to discuss with someone. So I replaced AI with a human.
Yeah,
you know?
I do that too.
I shared some of my experience or some of my struggles with AI, and it does kind of like support you, tries to support you emotionally, but it's definitely not the same as human, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very likely for a human to relate somebody else's problems to theirs, and probably think of their problems as their own in the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're getting what I'm trying to say.
No, it's kind of like, that's the thing. It's like empathy is a big part. And empathy is, I am here.
Yes.
Right? I listen. I see the whole picture. I feel what you feel. That's empathy. And empathy is a huge part. It's like the core for therapeutic relationship. It's important. And the things you slowly learn is empathy is not the only thing. So when you identify so much, or when you over-identify, and another thing with empathy or over-identifying is you start not listening now. You feel so much that you feel your emotion rather than this person's emotion. You're not listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're going through your own story again and again.
Yeah. And then
instead of listening to theirs and understanding them better.
Exactly. So that's the challenge. It's like when the experience is so similar, you take in your experience in, and that's the hard one. And another hard one would be not remain a little bit professional objective. It's like beyond the empathy, what can we do? And that's the intervention, that's the change, right? So it's a it's a fine art. It's a delicate line you're walking. You want to be validating. You want to be empathetic. I want to do DBT. A lot of a practice based on dialectical behavior therapy. It's about two things are true. And the very big thing is to balance between validation and change. I validate you. I see you. Everything you shared makes total sense. And simultaneously, you are in therapy because you want change. You're not here just to keep talking. If you want here to keep talking, you need to find a different therapist. This is not space. This is the space for us to change the old pattern. So to balance that, too little validation, you rupture the relationship. Because if you don't even understand that person, they won't take your advice, or they won't try the new skill. They won't feel heard. And a lot of clients who has trauma, the issue is they have never been heard. They need the space to be heard and feel soothed and believe that they have a voice first and they have the autonomy first before they can take the step to change. So you need a lot of that. And simultaneously, beyond that, you also need to change.
What have you learned about people that surprised you?
I'm surprised on how sometimes with the littlest thing, it can go beyond my expectation.
For example?
I actually talked with that with my recent training session with my professor. She told me because I shared one of the early clips of my therapy session. And then I told her I know there is missed emotion, there is missed atonement. And the reason for that is the client comes in with depression. I want the clients to go away with the action plan. I need a client to do behavior activation. I was having an agenda and I keep, let's go, 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 go. We need to get that. And there is limited time. I need to pack it in. And she shared is sometimes the littlest thing may have a really bigger impact. And with more time with client, that's what I notice. A lot of time I feel I'm running the same circle with client as well. And the client feel that too. But maybe after 3-4 sessions, the client comes in take a completely different route. And I'm surprised on how the littlest thing we do actually make a really big difference in their life. So sometimes people can change with the littlest, the smallest sentence that they caught on.
You never know, right?
You never know. You never know which thing land.
Just gotta try your best.
Just gonna try, just gonna be present, just gonna keep doing. But also what I also learned is I need to trust the process. It's better for me to get one concept really clear out in the session, get really deep, rather than pushing on agenda and risk rupture. Because after all, the atonement, the bonding is the key for this therapeutic relationship. So I need to be present. And the pushing agenda, because sometimes you really think you have to have your to-do list there, physical, objective, to be a good session. That's not true. Sometimes it's literally just that one sentence and stay with the person forever. And I have those moments too. I think is one sentence my old therapist said to me is I think we're talking about setting boundary, and as an autistic woman who don't know she's autistic for a really long time, I was but the thing is, I don't know how I feel. And apparently there is a term called alexithymia. Basically it's really hard for you to identify your emotion. If you ask me how I feel, I'm good or bad. A lot of people are like that. And with that, a lot of time I feel is confused. I don't know how I feel. So I end up, when I feel confused, I don't know if I don't want this. I will go along with whatever thing people want me to do with them. And
for example,
it can go, sometimes it's just go to a restaurant that I actually from the bottom of my heart don't want to go, but at the time I haven't figured out. And then go to that restaurant, I don't enjoy it. And then I feel
you just
like,
go with the flow.
Yeah, I go with the flow and I don't enjoy it. And I feel like a whining, person who's like saying yes and then don't feel yes and don't have a good time and ruin the vibe. How could I be like that?
And start feeling bad about yourself.
Yes, it happened a lot before I know that about me. And the worst part is sometimes it did get to the point as a woman, being taken advantage of. Sometimes I would like literally guys start making out with me. I just froze because again, like I will look at you in the eyes, I will braid my hair. Apparently those are all signals for flirting. They would think I've been flirting with them all night.
Very easy to misinterpret.
Yeah, and I have social challenge. I really don't understand that people are flirting with me. I really don't. Again, it's hard to know that I have those challenges because I mask. And I remember there were incidents in college that someone just started making out with me and I was just like kind of stumped. He's like, we have been flirting all night. And I'm like, oh yeah, we have been flirting all night, I guess. And then they make out, they kiss you, they hug you. And then I let that happen rather than I consent to that. But simultaneously, that's not a bad person who forced me to do anything because I didn't say no. And I didn't say no because I don't know if I want to say no because I'm confused at the moment. And later on, I will feel like violated. And that's a horrible feeling. And then I think my therapist then said something that stayed with me forever. Mm-hmm. And I say that to my clients too. When you feel confused, confusion is also an emotion. It's your body trying to tell you that you need more time to figure things out.
True.
So if you're confused, you don't need to go with whatever things is put in front of you. When you're confused, say no. And you're not saying no for absolute no. You're saying, I need more time.
Yeah.
And then if the person get mad at you for needing more time, that's not the person you want to keep in your life. That changed my life. That really changed my life. And that made me become so much comfortable in a lot of social setting nowadays. Because I know I'm allowed to figure things out. It's just because I'm confused a lot more than other people. Sometimes I feel like it's weird. But now I'm like, if you think I'm weird to need time to figure out, then you're not the person I want to keep in my life, right? It does checks out. It does works out. So that is a moment that really changed the rest of my life. And
that makes sense, 100%.
Yeah. And so anyways, the topic is the littlest things can really make a lot of change in a person's life. And that really, it begins to really sink in with me and really make me feel more, I don't know, it make me feel like my job, it's cool, it's good. And I'm also become more cautious in a way that change can be good and bad. So I'm trying my best. I'm a human. I'm allowed to make a mistake. I'm allowed to say the wrong thing in session.
Indeed.
Yeah. But I'm become more mindful even in my day-to-day life to be like not making a negative change. And if I do, I want to resolve it. I want to check in. Like, what did I make you feel bad? Do you want to talk about it? Like type of thing.
The next one's really interesting. And I'm really curious about it. Did you at any point feel like AI would take over your job? Because it sort of is.
Yeah, so a lot of people, if you ask ChatGPT, can you be my therapist? They will say no, but I can be your life coach. You can ask now.
I don't have my phone on me right now.
Yeah, but that. I think to say I don't believe there is impossible. I think probability is beyond any individual's predictability. the philosopher in me. Maybe. We'll see. I hope not, because I feel like a lot of time people are more and more isolated. And there is a lot of, even the other day I was talking with my friend, he was doing the research on like epidemic. They call it epidemic. Some people call it epidemic, the loneliness of young men. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons is the social media and this, rather than interpersonal relationship, is person and figure relationship. I'm the only person, the only thing I'm socializing is a figure online, is an image online, is a created social media persona. And I think ChatGPT or other AI is those things, is a figure. And that really breaks down community. And I think partially therapy is to give a lot of people who don't have the opportunity to develop healthy connection, healthy relationship dynamics, and opportunity to be able to have those skills so they can be less lonely, they can be isolated. Well, when it's completely replaced by the machine, yeah, it can give you a lot of cognitive reconstruction, reframing, re-narrative, but it does not teach you how to connect with another human being. And to connect with another human, because after all, we're social beings. We want to connect.
With another human being.
With another human being.
And do you also feel like technology will never replace humans? Because I do.
I hope so. Well, that question make me think about the
in terms
humans.
In terms of like connection and...
Have you watched The Real Humans or The Humans? Like it's a British show about like a robot, like a guy who developed sentient robot.
No, I haven't.
Who know how to love and feel emotion and take care, like literally sincerely care. Like those type of AI. Or Western world, if the robot is sentient, where do we go ethically? Are they still robot, or they now have their feeling? They feel pain, they feel joy, they have their own identity.
But those are... all those emotions are programmed in them.
The issue with that specific, those line of sci-fi is they develop a program that kind of like forming emotion that beyond the algorithm. That goes beyond, for example, you put a basic code, AI can never harm human. But they would develop emotion that override that logical code, which is what humans do. We have the logic, we have the emotion. Emotion sometimes just
true.
Overpower it. And the robot was there. And I started watching those things when I was like 12, 14, I think. So I always have that little ethical discussion within myself. Like, do they back then have like, we need to extend what is human right?
Outside of therapy, you also create spaces for people to connect, right? Mm-hmm. So what inspired you to start the Art and Conversations meetup?
I didn't start the meetup. I inherit that.
Oh, really? I thought you were the one who started it.
No. That group is beyond me. And I think if I step down, there will be another person who take that. It's just a community.
How did you inherit it?
I just participate. I think it's part of my healing journal. I was so chronically ill. I wasn't able to do anything. I feel like a ghost. I don't exist. I have my close friend. I was really lucky. My close friend stayed supportive in my life. And simultaneously, I does not have a social connection anymore because I was in pain all the time, right? And then as I'm recovering, I was like, oh, I missed that type of connection. I was in school before. I have a community and now I don't have it. I need one, need to get out of my comfort zone and try it. And I did. And the group always have really good vibe. The old host, can I mention her name?
Sure.
The old host, Belinda, I really do love her. She's the artsy person. I'm not the artsy person, okay? I'm running an arts connection group. I'm not an artsy person.
But you're very social.
I am the host. I'm bringing good energy and some...
That's great.
Really mediocre artwork. Yeah, exactly. But I'm not the artsy person there. She's very artsy and she has been running it. There was a host before her. And then she gets very busy because she began school and she's like, can anyone step up? I like the community. I want to keep participating in that. Then you create a world you want to live in. You create your own reality. And now this is my reality.
What do people get there that they're not getting normally?
The third space, like that's a new concept, right? Like where you can socialize without spending money. Well, we did spend money because we go out for dinner afterward. But in a way, it's a stress-free place for you to meet new people. I think that's very important. And I do think slowly I'm building a community.
You are.
I do think we have a really good group cohesion right now. It's a dynamic group. We all have our connection, and there will constantly having new people coming in, and there will be people living, but I think right now is a community. We're like literally currently right now when we're filming this, they are in like a Philippine restaurant right now.
Oh, that group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to our ROM this Thursday as well. It's kind of like it's become alive, and it's become alive beyond me, which is something that makes me really happy. I don't need to be there for every event. Some people told me, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, throw it in the group. Find people who are also from this group who are interested in going with you. And I don't need always be the person who hold everything together. That's when I start to feel that this group has become more alive.
For sure.
Yeah, it has this organic balance and motor start running, and it's a really nice environment.
For sure. I've been there a couple of times and it's really good.
Yeah.
What happens when people sit down and talk honestly?
I was reading this book earlier. I do kind of want, because that literally is the sentence from the book, so I kind of want to find it now.
Sure.
As I was literally reading it earlier.
Earlier today?
Earlier today. Life to most of people is not something that is not a thing that you sincerely present and experience the happiness. But rather it is something, the life, it is something that combined by all the stressor, punishment, and shall be, and form together a lie that you're supposed to believe and a rule that you're supposed to continuously and ceaselessly play. And the only way for reality, for the real, for the essence to walk away from this life full of lies is to be real, to be open, to be vulnerable, to be honest.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
I think I didn't translate it as well, but this is a book called, I'm reading it in Mandarin, but it's actually a Turkish book. It's called, 纯真博物馆.
You were translating it just now?
Yes. The Museum of Innocence.
Wow.
It's that book, the same author.
Oh, right.
But the other book called My Name is Red. That's the second book I'm going to read about the same author. But yeah, literally when you ask me that, that's the sentence come to my mind. So life for a lot of people, we have shelbies, we have punishment, we have all the rules we internalize that we need to play, and we keep playing those rules, right? It's full of lies, but we subscribe to that because we should be. And then we play to it. And then we live in it rather than be present and realistically enjoy moment of happiness. And the only way to step off that lie is to be real, to be honest, to be vulnerable.
What have you learned from organizing these events, these meetups?
Before, I also, among a lot of other people, and I think a lot of us do still share this feeling that Toronto can be an alienating place. It's big, it's scary, it's really hard to meet new people. True.
I agree.
And it remains to be a place like that, I'm not gonna lie. Toronto can be intimidating. And Toronto can also be a place that you made it to be. If you need community, you need to put an effort in. But simultaneously, as someone who have chronic illness, I completely understand that energy is a privilege.
True.
And when you don't have it, focus on yourself first, reserve it for the necessary thing to keep life going, to survive that. But when you have it, and when you need it, and you happen to have it, it may be a little bit uncomfortable, and it may be a little bit scary at the beginning. Trust me, the first time for me to go to that meetup event, I was like, I registered like 4 times before I go. A lot of people don't know that, but I did. I registered like 4 times before I went there for the first time. But now it's my community, it's my people, and I enjoy that. And I'm really happy that I have that in my life. I think that makes me feel so much less lonely and so much more grounded.
You might not even know a lot of people are there just to chat with you.
Well, they owe me money. I need to send them bill. That'll be $80
a couple of times, and I had a lot of fun chatting with you. And of course, there were other people too. You meet new people, you chat with them, you learn about them. It's very relaxing and refreshing, honestly.
Yeah, that's the goal. Sometimes we need to steal some of those moments. From that same book, they talk about moments and time are 2 concepts. And time have a paradox. There are 2 forms of time. One is the time that put you back in the line of the society, to determine your relationship with others. When do you go to work? That's determined by your job, your boss, your manager, your client, if you're like me. But there are also time that belongs to you. And the time kind of stopped at those time, those period, and become moments. And those are just the moments you present with the people you want to be present with. And I think that's, for me, a lot of time those events should be, or something I try to create that moment of presence that is beyond the societal clock time in a linear way.
Now I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about therapists. What is a common misconception about therapists?
Therapist is just somebody who listens to you.
It's your servant.
Yeah?
It's your servant?
No, it's just more just like they're just listening. They're just listening and nod, and yeah, that's a misconception.
So what's the reality?
There is a difference between listening and active listening. And when I'm listening, of course I'm listening, but I'm also identifying patterns. I'm also trying to understand so much more than just what you tell me. And sometimes I will challenge you. A lot of times the story does not add up. I'll be like for the first couple of sessions, I'll be like, this does not make sense. And then you realize they have one emotional experience and they have one reality. And not even reality.
For the same event.
For the same event. Identifying partner is a big thing. And then one thing with identifying partner, when client story does not add up, what I slowly realize is some people have a narration of the story, things is right to tell. And they're right to a certain element, but they are neglecting a huge part of the painful memory of the things that still impact you nowadays. Someone will say, oh, my dad is amazing, he's so supportive. And then they have a lot of emotional trauma, and they have a lot of problem regulating the self and be with themselves and self-acceptance. And as you dive in, you realize that their parents were very critical. But on the face, in the first couple of sessions, my parents are supportive, they will support every single decision. They are right now. But when you're growing up, it's a different story. And those are the things you don't have access to on the surface level when you're just repeating the narrative. And they only resurface when someone probes you something really serious. Of like, when is the last time you feel this way? You're like, oh, when I was a kid. I'm like, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Like you have to probe the right question to dig down to make the connection with the past that is not belong to the allowed narrative you have about yourself currently, and connected with the current struggle sometimes. That's pattern recognition. Or sometimes you're not aware that you're repeating something over and over again and being like, that sounds familiar. You said that about yourself. You also said that about your partner. So it's beyond listening, it's active listening. I'm listening, but I'm kind of also putting things together. It's like what I said earlier, I'm putting you together as a puzzle and I'm reflecting back to you like, do you agree? Do you see something here? And as I'm reflecting it back, it's not like this is the final answer. You will start thinking. You will start making connection. You will bring up things that I missed, and then we will together understand you. And with this understanding, it goes with change. A lot of times, like, I want to change this, but I don't even know why I'm like this. And a lot of time, people also think therapy only stop at the why. At least from how I do therapy, no. It's always the change. Of course, the why is important, but simultaneously, we cannot know exactly the why. There are so many factors, biologically, psychologically, socially. That it also could be that you didn't sleep really well last night and you're just pissy. We cannot know 100% the trace, but we can understand the general pattern and the general thoughts that comes up and why it's come up and how can we change it. What's the core for us to ground us here and act differently? So it's not stopping at the why. Therapist is not just here to tell you why you do certain things. Therapist is here to be like, okay, it makes sense that happened. Here could be the possible explanation and the reasons why it stopped us from acting differently, and how are we going to act differently? How are we going to live differently from this partner that had been troubling you? And I think that's the meaning of therapy, to create something new. For me, therapy is a leap of faith. It's starting kindergarten. It's you're jumping and you don't know what the other side looks like, but you have to believe there is another side when you jump. And you have to jump fearlessly. You have to go.
Wow. Sorry, I just got carried away.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a philosopher.
Your way of explanation is amazing. It's just so deep. I literally got carried away. I was just totally immersed into it.
Now I'm going to let your compliment goes to my ego.
Sure. Wow. I'm going to take a breath.
Yeah, now do we want to book a first session? Currently, I'm charging $80 an hour.
Yeah, I think that was a session for me already. Okay, next question. If your brain had a personality, how would you describe it?
My brain?
Yes, your
My brain is a little bitch. Well, okay, I'm different.
That's very honest.
Yeah, okay. I have AuDHD. Autism, I'm on the spectrum. I also have ADHD. You don't understand how much I'm impacted by the environment. It's like, if we're in a restaurant, recently it happened in my gym too. They have a light and they have a fan. That hurt my brain so much. Right? It sounds impossible, right? It's like, how? What? Because the fan would go around and the light would
It's more like
blink.
a flasher?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't like flashing lights?
It's not just a dislike. My body would tense up. I would not be able to listen anymore.
Does your brain think that it's some sort of danger?
No, it's just overstimulation. My brain cannot handle it.
Mm-hmm.
As for ASD, called hypersensitive and hyposensitive. Hypersensitive is like too much of that. If it's too much for you to handle, you got overstimulated, your brain shut down. Hyposensitive is like too little of that, you just cannot figure out. You're not understanding of it. I'm really hyposensitive with my internal cue to the point that literally in my calendar, I need to pre-schedule my lunchtime because I will forget. I don't read the cue until I'm like starving.
Oh, that's hypersensitivity.
Cue, yeah, because I don't detect it at all. I will completely miss it. But lights,
internal cues.
Crazy. And noise, crazy. Like a lot of things bugs me so much. And sometimes I need to ground myself and be like, it's not fair for you to be angry because this is your issue, this is your struggle. Mm-hmm. It's on you to deal with it. And sometimes you can ask for accommodation. Legally, some place need to offer you accommodation. For example, I can handle if this environment is going to be loud. I can handle it with a noise canceling headphone. And it's within my legal right to require that I can put on noise canceling headphones. But yeah, that's make life tough. And then the ADHD executive function. Last year I have a super boring assignment. I clean out my entire fridge.
Cleaned out.
Clean out. I was throwing out like old meat. I was like organizing things. I peeled all my garlic.
Whoa. You threw everything out?
Yep. No, reorganize. Okay. Like I use things. I also peeled all my garlic. Why? Because I have a big assignment due and it's boring and my brain cannot do that. It's embarrassing to say it, but I'm a therapist and I help people with that. But me, I sometimes still, it does happen. I will clean my entire house. My house was extremely clean that week.
When you're stressed out or what?
No, that's actually an ADHD thing. It's called decision paralysis or something. Mm-hmm. Like they kind of like you went on a field of doing things that are productive, but it's not the thing that is super boring and tedious, but you have to do. Because you're not focusing
on that, but you're focusing on everything else.
Yes, and I was so productive. My house was so clean, like God level clean that week. And then once the urgency kicked in for the project, I was able to do it. But do I enjoy to do the project last minute and have that whole week be like, why, Vicky? The floor is clean already. I don't enjoy that, but my brain sometimes is just like that. There are a lot of coping strategy I'm slowly building up, but every now and then it will still happen. And right now I just laugh about it. I call myself my brain a little bitch, but we'll be friendly with each other. You can be very annoying, but I love you, I accept you. I'm going to work my way around it. And if you really need that, that's okay.
That's actually a very honest opinion.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, it makes my life, don't get me wrong, it's a little bitch, but it's very smart.
It is.
It's very wonderful. I think I every now and then have a great idea. Mm-hmm. And simultaneously, it can be very reactive and make things a lot harder. And I have to work with it a lot. I have to constantly checking in. Like when at the beginning, I said like when people look at me, they won't notice I will have going through a period of time that I'm completely just out of it. Like in those days, you don't know what I do. I'm like, do you know the kind of like phone game that kind of like putting two color ship together or untangling the rope. Yeah. I can play that for 12 hours.
Like Candy Crush, right?
Stuff like that. Yeah. I would just do that for 12 hours.
12 hours straight? Amazing.
Because my brain need that. My brain need a predictable thing. And I don't know, somehow that's soothing and repeating. And that's the only thing I do for 12 hours. And after that, I feel refreshed.
Is it because you need stimulation or what?
I need stimulation. I cannot just have no stimulation, but I also need less stimulation and a predictable stimulation. And it's somehow soothing. I just can't do that for 12 hours and I do feel refreshed. But the thing is, I also need to be very careful of like, is this my need or right now I'm stuck in a loop? Because autism brain hate change. Right now I'm stuck in this dopamine loop. The second day I may feel extremely uncomfortable to do anything else. I need to like force myself to do opposite action. I need to really identify, is it now my brain need to recharge so I withdraw? Or right now am I spiraling so I withdraw?
Wow. And
it's a constant back and forth with it. That's AuDHD. And it's, yeah, and autism and ADHD itself is a push and pull. My autistic brain loves routine. My ADHD brain finds them boring. So every now and then we'll have a routine that really works and really soothing. And then my ADHD side is like, this is so boring and I'll stick to it. And I have to be like soothing, like it's okay, I see you. Like I kind of like have to develop like a third space in my head. I mean, like, it's all right. Everybody calm the fuck down. Let's deep breathe and let's check it. So it's constantly, it's a lot of managing and a lot of acceptance and a lot of like, yeah, every now and then I will fall out of the weekend and I'm going to deep breath, radical accept that this is what it is and what's tomorrow going to look like.
So you're still working on it, still healing from it?
I don't think it's healing now. I think all the baggage coming, the traumatic invalidation, I've been pretty much sorted out. I make peace. More is just acceptance. Like, this is my reality and here is the ways I'm dealing with it. And the struggle will still every now and then come up. And that's okay, because I can deal with it. It's similar with how I deal with lupus in a way. I have it. It's hard. And if I'm mad, I'm like, this sucks. Like, kind of like, I need to let the frustration out. And simultaneously, it does not define me. I have so much more beyond that. And, but simultaneously is also part of me. And this is what I deal with.
So what kind of life are you trying to build for yourself?
Oh, this is a question I ask to clients.
What are your future goals and how
No. We ask a miracle question.
Okay.
What if another day you wake up, you don't have depression anymore? What your day is going to look like?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah. Well, this one is going to fall.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a very happy day.
Sometimes
I'll be on top of the world.
Yeah, sometimes that question does not hit well though. It's an intervention strategy to set up goals. That's the thing. The first thing I want to say is happy. And I remember something one of my best friend Raw is like, happiness is those fleeting lights in between the darkness and where traveling stars goes into the middle. So if your goal of life is happiness, you will be ultimately disappointed, because happiness, by the nature of it, is fleeting. It's the moment, and it will naturally goes back to norm. So I think my ideal is I want to have a relatively stable, but I don't think stable is like static. I think stable is a naturally rise and fall. It takes constant maintenance, but I do want to be content. And
stable as compared to your childhood.
Yeah. And it's also not like a physical external stability. I want to have the internal one, the sense of like, no matter what life throws at me, I know I can handle it. And it will be up and down. I know I accept that I will get depressed about it. I will get anxious about that. I will be stressed out. And I also believe that I can go back. Like, always have that little piece of mind in me, have that sense of content. It's not like stable. Like I wish my life is, because if I wish my life to be this, I will not be that. Nobody can, because life keeps happening.
It keeps changing too.
Keeps happening. Horrible things will happen just as good things will happen as well. So when you are trying to build this ideal life based on external control, you will ultimately set yourself up for failure. So I want to have this internal sense of management. That's one thing. I do want to be kind to myself and be kind to another person, to people in my life. Do want to be caring to myself and to others as well. And the rest of it, whatever happens.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are your future goals? I remember you telling me you wanted to do your master's. Oh yeah, that's more of a pipe dream, but maybe, who knows? I love sociology so much. Master's in sociology? Probably be a sociologist. Is that one of your goals? I haven't think about that for a really long time, but I think in my second year of college, my dream is to become a political sociologist. What is a political sociologist? Study more about politics, social structure, policy, trying to make a change. Okay. And how do you plan to do that? I didn't. I stepped back from it and get more interested in human psychology, everyday human. And also I think it's the kind of like, I would say a little bit lost of faith in how much. I do think if in the right position, but I also think therapy in itself can be politicalized. Like Hannah Arendt said, I think it's Hannah Arendt, or if I recorded correctly, but to find the right language at the right moment is fundamentally political. True. So my job is extremely political if you think about it. Yes. It's just not to a huge extent, actually. Yeah, it's not conventionally. If we think about politics, we think about governor, like
bureaucracy, those type of policy level anymore. But in my day-to-day interaction, I am trying to make a change in a course to, we're not judging the client's worldview and trying to impose your value, but you would ultimately kind of like sharing certain value. For example, the value I'm sharing is regulation, peaceful, stop, and act according to your intention. That's a value. That's our therapeutic goal. So in a way, I'm still political, I guess. But yeah, so life goal for me, I think I only have short-term goal. And I think...
What are your short-term goals?
Open my own clinic.
That's great. And you're working on it, right?
Make a livable earning.
That's good.
Being able to be financially independent, I'm very privileged. Being the only child of a middle-class family, very lucky. And I hope that I can be financially independent with the job I do. And that's my short-term goal. And in terms of long-term goal, I think the being internally stable is my long-term goal. That's my vision of life. And for other things, I dislike having those goals because then I think it's really interesting because I want to say something, but I read it in Mandarin. But I'm sure there is English translation, but it's Nietzsche. It's kind of like on the way to the spirit, there is a gigantic golden something like that, like a dragon on the way, and every piece of like his body shines through this golden statement of you shall. And I think if I'm like having so much long-term goal of like, oh, I want to get married at a certain time, I want to have kids at a certain age, I'm giving myself I shall. Right? I'm giving myself should be's, and I don't want to do that. I want to allow as much probability as possible to be open to anything that may happen, good or bad, in my life, because I'm letting go of those attachment to I shall be, my life shall be. And yeah, but in terms of short-term goal, it's more based on my current reality and the direction I go. But long-term life goals, don't have it. Whatever happen.
It gives you a lot of sense of freedom, right? Yeah,
freedom and exploration, curiosity, in a way. I'm looking forward to that as, I don't know where it lands. I don't know where it's going to go.
If you could say something to your younger self in China, what would you say?
You're doing the best you can.
And that's it?
That's it. You're doing the best you can. I really do want to say that to her because there's a lot of doubt. It's a lot of questioning, a lot of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going to be okay? You don't need to know all of that. You just need to know that you're doing the best if you can and keep doing it.
Thank you so much, Vicky. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to do this twice.
Well, but we did it finally. And Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much.
And thank you so much.